Well, good evening and welcome to Gen Cares, powered by Chosen Counselors. I'm your host and the founder of Chosen Counselors, a nonprofit organization that seeks to inspire, motivate, empower, and strengthen individuals and families. As always, I thank you all so very much for tuning in, for liking, for sharing, for commenting, and watching again. Special thanks to licensed nutritionist Crystal Collinson last week who joined us and shared with us about watering the garden. Now, friends, when you go before your doctor, don't say you didn't know. I try to help us so that we can know, because I know that if we know better, we'll do better, right? So we want to do better as it relates to our bodies and making sure we're eating the things that's going to help us because we are the plant. So again, pay attention to what we're doing, okay? So every year around my birthday, me and my brother have a talk. And I'm challenged to step outside of my comfort zone and do that which is in my heart to do. This year, we didn't have that talk. You know why? Because I'm still going strong from that talk from last year. What are some things you said you would do, wanted to do, and are yet not doing? This weekend, we launched our first conference workshop thingy, a day of empowerment. And my chosen friends said that they would come and we did it. And they did. And I am truly, truly grateful, truly appreciative to each and every one of you that supported. If you did come, drop in the comments what your favorite part was. I did send out a survey and the response that I've been getting is amazing. I truly, truly thank each and every one of you. One person did say they'd like to watch it again. Guess what? If you have the link, you can watch it again. Now, if you didn't purchase the ticket, eventually I will release it. However, I'm letting all those that really came in for that day to reap it all, take all the notes, and get all the nuggets. But I will release it for everyone at a later date. Again, my gift was simply being able to offer that workshop. And some of you went above and beyond and showed me some love, and I am forever grateful. I purposely didn't bring any tissues tonight because I'm not crying. I'm getting my life together right now. Because between allergies and the seeds of love, my eyes is tired, okay? But again, I thank you all. I love you all. But guess what? We are working on something new. Next, actually tomorrow I'm having the first meeting because we're going to offer a day of hope. A day of hope. And I am so, so very excited for that because that's going to be for our young children, our children of tomorrow. We want to instill in them that there is hope. What they see today does not have to be their end. They can go above and beyond their wildest dreams. And we want to be able to support them because guess what? It takes a village and we are that village. So again, to all of my chosen friends that attended the Day of Empowerment, to those that didn't attend, I'm working on some snippets. It was 3 hours packed full of nuggets I got to go through. I was watching the clip today and was tickled. They was breaking it down. Them guys, that session was good. The ladies did it too, all right? And when they came together, it's going to be good. So I'm going to work on getting some snippets to share them with you of some nuggets that were shared. Friends, we are doing amazing things. And our theme for this month is to grow. So guess what? We must keep on growing. This weekend was just a seed. We got some more coming, and it's only because of you that we can continue to do what it is that we do. So thank you. Tonight, we're going to talk about pruning. Because after we are empowered, we should now take inventory of what needs to be cut, okay? And pruning is defined as trim, by cutting away dead or overgrown branches or stems, especially to increase fruitfulness and growth. It's to cut away. It's to reduce the extent of by removing unwanted parts. Pruning. It's not comfortable all the time, but it's good for us. And to grow, sometimes we have to trim. Sometimes we have to cut. And guess what? Our friend tonight is going to help us do just that. Because there's some things we got to cut to make sure we can continue to grow. So please help me welcome and introduce Jarde Allen of In the Moment. She's going to break it down for us to help us learn about pruning. Welcome, Miss Allen. Woo!
Hello. What a pleasure to be here with you all today. Honored to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, it's my pleasure.
Yes. So over here at Gen Cares, we always start with a quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is, "Weeds are flowers too, once you get to know them." Again, weeds are flowers too, once you get to know them. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the first thing that popped into my mind when I heard that quote was just about how life is about perspective. I find that that's one of the things that helps separate some of the people that may be a little bit more successful or people that are still striving to be more successful versus the people that haven't figured it out yet. It's all about perspective. So two people can look at the exact same thing and see something completely different. And so that's really what comes to mind when I think about looking at a weed and how two of us could literally be looking at the same thing. And one of us can see the potential, the growth, the vision, the 5-year plan, the 6-month plan. And somebody else might see it as, man, like, I got the short end of the stick. It's not working out for me, or, this thing just didn't work out for me. So that's really what I think of when I think about that quote, perspective.
Very nice, very nice. And that's it. Weeds are not comfortable. We don't like them. They can mess up the flower, but it's not until we see that we know that flower needs some attention. It's not until we see those weeds that we say, wait a minute, it's going to stunt the growth of my flower. I got to handle this. So that's why it's so important. Weeds are a benefit because it lets us know what's going on. And again, some people love weeds as flowers. I don't know that I like them all the time. I don't know that I like all the flowers because the worms and things, I got to know my lane. But there is a benefit, and that's what we're going to talk about. Because some weeds might be, with our bills and things and our finances and things. We get our plan is thriving and doing well, and then something happens with a bill. That's a weed that pops up. How can we address that weed? It messes up our credit. How can we address that weed? Today we're going to talk about pruning, friends. So we're going to get into it. I have some questions to guys tonight's topic. But if any of my chosen friends have a question, comment, be sure to comment below. All right, friends? So first question as always is, hold on, my Mama Wanda's here. Hey, Mama Wanda. She said, I know I need to cut some things. You and me both. I remember it was a time when we had the budgeting class and we talking about shopping. We still gonna go, Mama Wanda. We gonna plan it. The world is opening up now. But Jarde, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Jarde Allen?
Okay, sure. So I will try to be as short and to the point as I can, but in short, so my name is Jarde, as she mentioned, but more importantly, I would say the past 5 years of my life have really been a quick change from what I've been used to. So I am married. I have a puppy. People always ask me, do I have kids? I say, no, I have a puppy and a husband. That's enough. And I am a full-time entrepreneur. 2 years ago, I was not. 2 years ago, I was just climbing the corporate ladder. I had been in corporate America at that point for almost 10 years. And the job that I was working at the time, I had been there 7 years, climbing the corporate ladder. But at some point, something clicked in my head that helped me to realize that I no longer wanted to trade my time for money. I needed to figure out another plan. So I did that. And about 2 years ago, I started working for myself from my laptop and a couch. And it kind of took off from there. So I am currently one of the co-founders of In the Moment Financial Services, where we service the West Philadelphia community. And we actually service nationwide because we have a virtual platform as well.
Very nice, because that's my next question. Tell us about In the Moment Financial Services and who is your partner, because I feel like some of my chosen friends may know her.
I think so. So In the Moment Financial Services actually started as a little baby. It was just In the Moment Tax Services. I was helping a ton of people with their taxes. And what I found is that every single one of my tax clients, it never ever failed. By the time we got to the end of the interaction, they needed help with something else. So whether it was, hey, do you know someone that can help me with my credit? Do you know someone that can help me start a business? Do you know someone that can help me invest in real estate? All of those things. So what I found is, hey, these are people that are already trusting of me, people that I already have relationships with. Why not add on those additional services? So out of that bloomed In the Moment Financial Services. I connected with my amazing business partner. Her name is Enacia Bradshaw. Many of you may know her. She is known as the credit professor, the credit guru, call it what you will. She knows everything credit. And she's very, very, very passionate about what she does. And I think that's how our partnership joined up. We both are very passionate about educating our community on financial literacy. And so that out of that kind of bloomed In the Moment Financial Services. So we are brick and mortar. We are located right in West Philadelphia, and we currently offer business tax preparation, personal tax preparation, credit restoration, bookkeeping, investing in real estate, business consulting, you name it.
Got it, got it. And I hear you, chosen friends, because today was the last day for us to file our taxes. I hope you did that. If you owed some funds, I hope you did that. I owed something and I went right to the post office, got it certified. They won't say that I didn't send what I was supposed to send, okay? But I also wanted us to talk about today because how can we prepare for next year, okay, friends? We want to make sure everything is lined up. Maybe we may have a question, which I will ask. How can we work out that we don't owe? Sometimes you can have some extra taken out. So we're going to ask these questions and find out how in the moment we can get some help so that next tax season we don't have any problems.
Exactly.
All right?
Exactly.
So did you always want to do taxes? Like, how did you get into doing taxes?
No, actually. So I actually never wanted to do taxes. I went to school for marketing. I also went to school for risk management and insurance. My entire corporate America career was in management. So I was never doing taxes, believe it or not. I had a situation where I actually was having someone else do my taxes, and then I had a little situation where something didn't work out right. I got audited. I didn't know that things were on my taxes that weren't supposed to be on there. And then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, like, I wonder how many other people in our community are having someone just do your taxes, because typically we have a friend of the family or someone we know do them, and we don't even know what's on our taxes. So that's really what started my brain turning about doing taxes. And it just took off from there, because once I realized how we can use the tax code to actually benefit us, it became more than just being about a refund number. It became about tax strategy and how you can hold on to all of your income instead of seeing that gross paycheck and then seeing that net paycheck. So that's really what sparked my interest.
Because that gross and that net is disrespectful. Ooh. The difference. Uncle Sam, you ain't right. You ain't right. You ain't right. But this is good. A lot of people don't know. I mean, there's a couple years that I did my own taxes, and it was great to have the experience. However, I pay for peace and let somebody else do that because that's their speed now. But definitely like the different things, why they are taking so much, why that number is so different, and things of that sort. So that's a great. So you do classes to help people to understand what is being taken out and why?
So it's not that we necessarily do classes, but our consultations are free. So you can go to our website, www.inthemoment101.com, and book a free tax consultation. And on that consultation, we typically talk about your tax liability, how we got there, but more importantly, what's the game plan and strategy to get you out of that? So that's what I find a lot of times when people tell me that they went to a local place to get their taxes done, or that they did them themselves. The first thing I say is, well, what's your tax strategy for this year? And more often than not, I get a blank stare or I don't know. Well, let me tell you something. The affluent people and the millionaires, they absolutely have a tax strategy every single year. They make 10 million, they write off 10 million, and they pay $0 in taxes legally, right? It's because they have a strategy. And a lot of times in our minority communities, we're not talking about it. We're daggone sure not talking about it. We're just talking about a refund. And little do we know, all we're talking about is getting refunded our own money. Our own money. So why not talk to a tax professional, pay the extra $30? I don't care if it's $300. If it's going to save you thousands of dollars every single year, then it's worth the investment. So talking about tax strategy is more of what we need in our community, because I promise you that's what they're talking about at their dinner tables.
Tax strategy. And, we got to learn this, because I don't want to say they're taking our money. It's the process. It's the law of them taking the funds. But learning how you can get some of your coins back. It's not nice to owe. But if you do it again, you just pay it. Hopefully Sutton's got some funds for it. That's a rainy day fund that you may need. But let's talk about sometimes how you can get extra taken out of your check, I'm hearing, to help in case you do owe. What's that process like?
Yeah. So there's a couple things. One is your W-4 form. So your W-4 form is the form that you fill out when you sign up for a job. You actually have the ability to change that form whenever you want. You don't actually need a reason. And on that form, the lower that you put your exemptions, the more you're going to get back in a tax refund at the end of the year. Far too often, you hear the opposite. You hear people say, oh, I want my money all up front, right? I don't want them taking a lot of taxes out of my check. I want my money up front. But think about it. Think about this one. Yes, it's an extra $20, $30 for some of us, it may be more, out of your paycheck. What were you actually going to do with that $30? Versus if you received it in a lump sum at the end of the year, what could you do with it? Right? So it really depends on your strategy. It goes back to that S word, strategy. But at the end of the day, having more taxes come out of your paycheck isn't necessarily a bad thing if you can come up with a game plan for what you want to do with it at the end of the year. Did I go away?
No, that was me. I was muted. That's good to hear, of knowing how you have that game plan and things in store and how you could change that anytime, because people don't know that they could do that. And it does really help. It's untaxed, and it's extra money that's taken to help cover you and to help you in case you do have a bill. So it kind of sometimes makes me think of like the flexible spending account. You know, you have that money that's coming out to be able to help for medical expenses and things, rainy day. This helps you rainy day of taxes, because we never know. And then the tax brackets changed this year as well, so people fell in different categories.
Correct. So what I like to tell people is this. This is just a quick sidebar, but it's still on the same thing. The easiest way right now, currently, with the current tax code, to get a $10,000 tax refund is to be self-employed. And you might be thinking, what? That's crazy. How can I be self-employed and get a $10,000 refund, right? Mm-hmm. If you have self-employment mixed with W-2 income, it's the perfect combination. Being self-employed means this. If I make $5,000 and I have $5,000 in write-offs, I actually take home my $5,000. If I worked at a regular job and I made $5,000, I probably might only see $3,000 or $4,000 of it, and the rest goes to taxes.
Okay.
Right? So that's the way that you use the tax code as a self-employed individual. You get to take advantage of a lot of write-offs that are already a part of your everyday experience, and that help you to be able to get a higher refund.
Francie, we gotta schedule some consultations, because I was under the impression that I could get a nice little refund if I had a baby.
Yeah, that'll do it. That will do it.
I said, wait a minute, how y'all get these nice refunds for these babies? You know, my Cabbage Patch don't count, my cat don't count. I ain't trying to go to jail, but I mean, I said, wait a minute.
I would say it's a lot easier to be self-employed than to do that.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I'm gonna look into that. Friends, let's look into that. But again, so all right, let's talk about that too, because we have a lot of people that say they were self-employed and we're getting some extra things that the government was giving out. And friends, yeah.
Didn't have no businesses.
Didn't have no businesses. Let's not do it that way. Let's do it the legit way, the reasonable way. We had Dr. Proctor a gazillion times telling us how to do businesses, and our friend here tonight is telling us how to do it. So let's do it the right way, because if not, wait a minute. Crystal said the cats and dogs eat. Why can't we claim them? Sis, I want to know too.
Well, I actually have something for you now. Riddle me this. So just, flatter me for a second. Imagine that you have a dog or cat that you love so much that you post about them, you talk about them, all these different things. Next thing you know, you decide that you want to start a blog featuring your cat or your dog, right? Your blog just has to have the intention of making profit. You don't actually have to make a profit. You have to show that you have the intention of making a profit, right? So you set up a blog and it features your dog or your cat, and then anything related to your dog or cat now becomes a write-off.
So, I'm put my lip up first. I can make a video. Now, Crystal, you're going to make some money with your babies, because y'all always having a circus over there. But I can have videos with my cat Cleo, antisocial. You know what? You learn something every day.
And this is why it's so important to hook up with a tax professional. Like I said, the affluent people, I'm sorry, guys, that's my dog. The affluent people, they keep their money in their pocket. Excuse me for 1 second.
Okay. So, friends, y'all gonna watch me with my cat. We about to be famous. Cleo, I don't know where she is, but we about to see how we can be famous. I could make some coolest with Cleo. Cleo's really antisocial. She's going to run. If anybody comes in my house, she runs and hides. So I don't know how far I'm going to get, but we may try.
It's very important to hook up with a tax professional, guys, because you will be amazed at the different things that you get to know. For so many years, you probably thought that taxes was just about getting a refund. It's so much more than that. It's so much more.
Crystal said I'm making a video tonight. Now, Daisy and Shiloh the Baptist, I call Shiloh the Baptist. If they make it before my Cleo, can I get a 10% cut? Because I told you about we'll talk about it later. But yo, this is amazing. To know that, again, friends, let's do a consultation. She said it's free, and we can at least find out what our options are. And it's all about the more you know. So let's talk about. So a lot of people may have this tax season. We got these stimulus checks and things of that sort. Thought we was living a big life. And for most people, that may or may not have affected them. But what I did realize is that a lot of people may not have gotten their check direct deposit. It might have come in a check form, or it was like a big thing going around where they went to a check cashing place and their money was going there because that's where they did their taxes and things. Let's talk about, is it important to have your own bank account, or is it okay to keep going to that check cashing place?
So, great question. Last year was a year like no other. Mm-hmm. We had never seen anything like that when it comes to a stimulus check and just everything that was involved with the IRS. So typically what will happen is one of the perks of getting your taxes done with a tax professional is you typically can have your tax preparation fee come out of your refund instead of having to pay up front. Mm-hmm. But there's a catch to that. The catch to that is that your tax refund hits another bank account before it actually hits yours. So when the stimulus checks came out, the stimulus checks went to the other bank account before it hit yours. And so that was a catch that no one was prepared for, no one hedged against. And so, yes, it did cause a lot of confusion. And unfortunately, there were a lot of people that were still trying to track down their money. I definitely do not recommend a check cashing place. I recommend dealing with a tax professional that you have access to all year long, not just during tax season. A lot of these places open up for 3 months and then you don't see them again until the following January. You need someone that if you pick up the phone and call them, you're going to get a call back within 24 hours, especially when you're dealing with your finances.
Absolutely. And it's so important. Our money is really important. I want to know where they are. Make sure they're all accounted for. So let's talk about this, because having a tax professional to be available to support you through that process, that looks like, reaching out if they have any questions, or just being educated on different options that they have available as well, sounds like.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I always talk about with my clients. Not only are we going to handle your taxes right now, but it's more about, we're going to talk about the strategy for going forward, so I can make sure you're landing in a positive position at the end of the year. But also you have access to a tax professional all year long. So that's kind of another perk that, yes, you can do your taxes on your own. I would never tell someone you can't. You absolutely can. The question is that the wisest decision for where you are in your finances, right? Maybe when you were in your 20s, maybe when you didn't have any assets, maybe when you didn't have 5-year goals and vision boards, maybe it made sense to do your own taxes, right? Yes. But when you have vision boards and you have some place you want to be in a year or 2 years, and those are financial decisions, you need to already be game planning with someone that's going to be able to walk you through those steps and not try to figure them out 2 years from now. So yes, a tax professional is someone that you can reach out to all year long. I personally pride myself on making myself very available and how responsive I am to my clients.
Got it. So just in case one of my chosen friends are asking, but the tax professional is just trying to take my money, because they're going to tell me like these things, but they're going to take my money. Like, how much is this going to cost me? Am I going to go broke trying to have somebody make sure my taxes together so I don't have to go with problems with the IRS? Like, tell me about that.
Great question. It's absolutely going to cost you money. I wouldn't sit here and lie and say it's not. It's absolutely going to cost you money. The question is, does the cost outweigh the benefit? Right? So what is the overall benefit? For some of my clients, my business clients, their taxes start in the 700s and go up from there, believe it or not. But the reality is I'm saving that client anywhere between 20 to 50 grand sometimes, right? So that $700 doesn't matter. Same thing with my personal clients. So yes, your taxes may cost anywhere from $200 to $300, depending on your situation. However, if I'm giving you a strategy that's getting ready to save you thousands of dollars this year, what was the $200, right? Now what you could do is you could certainly say, I'm not paying anybody, I just want to handle it myself. And then you continue to miss out on the tax benefits that the affluent people take advantage of every single year. So it's up to you. I never have to sell anything, it sells itself.
You're right. And the other benefit is, though, like, I could do my taxes in TurboTax, TaxSlayer, TurboTax, whoever they are, TaxTax. can like guide you through. But
Yeah.
that actual tax professional know a different, I don't want to say shortcuts, but in a sense you do know that because you know different codes, you know different laws, you know different ways to work around. Like, no, but if I do it this way, you can get a discount and it's still legal, it's still legit. But it's because the knowledge that I know of how to handle taxes, of how to communicate to the IRS in a way of knowing, no, she did her due diligence. This is what you need to give her back, you know? So like going on behalf of that person. So that's pretty important.
I have a good question to close this little part out.
Mm-hmm.
You always hear them advertising about how free it is online, right? Free Tax USA and TurboTax, you do it for $20. All these like free and very cheap services. You ever heard the saying, you get what you pay for?
Absolutely.
Right? So not only do you get what you pay for, but think about this, and I'll leave it with this. Wouldn't it benefit the government to have you do your taxes on your own?
Right. Because you're going to do the bare. One, we're doing that basic plan. They said $35. That's the one I want.
Exactly.
I don't the guided professional. I got this because they just going to type it in. You're right.
So that's why they pump millions of dollars into those marketing vehicles because it actually benefits the government for you to file your taxes on your own and miss out on all the credits and deductions you should be getting. Right? Every single year, there's last year, I think there was like $100-something million left on the table from taxpayers. The government loves it. They eat it up. They're like, yes, go file on your own. Don't talk to anyone. Take your little $300 or $400 refund and be excited about that, and we'll keep the rest.
Well, wait a minute. Let me write a letter. Dear government, whoever left the money, I'll take it.
I'll take it. I know that's right. Thank you very much for asking these questions because it's something that we don't talk about in our community at all.
That's it. And it's so important for us to know. And all my chosen friends, you can't say that you didn't know because the day you found out, today is May 17th, 2021, 8:27 p.m. Eastern Standard. We talked about it. So that's what our taxes. And again, this is the prime time because even though we're almost like halfway through the year, what can we do to help ourselves by the end of the year? One, connect with a tax professional so they could give us the information to know what it is that we should do. So another thing with taxes, another thing with finances, another thing with pruning is that daggone credit score. Let's talk about it. What is it?
Well, if there's two things that we didn't talk about at our dinner table, it was credit and taxes. So we might as well stay on the same page.
That's it.
Right? So yes, let's talk about credit. Two things. One is, as my partner Nation Bradshaw will gladly share with you, it's not necessarily about your credit score. So many people get caught up on that number. That number, somebody can have a very high credit score, they have a very bad credit profile, and not get approved for something that someone with a lower credit score, but a better credit profile could actually get approved for. It's not necessarily about your score, it's about your profile. And I feel like that goes full circle back into what you're talking about, Jen, about the overall pruning process and how it's not just about one thing, it's about the whole process, the whole thing.
Right.
So at In the Moment Financial Services, we actually help you get your credit profile to where it needs to be. We're not worried about your score. It's very rare that we even ask you your score. We're asking you about your profile so that you can get approved for the things that you want to get approved for.
I like that. We said it's not the one thing, it's the whole thing. Let's go back to these weeds, right? Because, and it was so good on Saturday at the Empowerment, the Pratts did this analogy that he pulled out the flower with all the stuff that was underneath it. And this is what I'm about to break down too, because we think that we could pull one weed and that'll be good, but it's damaging to the plant. You have to really look into it to see what's intertwined, what's connected. And that's what our credit, we got to find out what's connected to cause it to be jumbled up on that root that we're trying to help grow. So credit is not that one thing, but it's a whole process. You got to look at it with the good eye. It's good.
Exactly.
It's good. Cami said it rarely ends up being $20 to $35 with self-prep software. Absolutely.
They add on all these other charges.
Or they say someone else and you thought that you was on the move. It's like, yeah, I got this. Like, wait a minute, another $35. What? Because like you said, not that I don't want to say they're scamming, but it's a business.
Yeah.
And if they can recoup some funds or have some funds, You gotta have it together. Yes, good eye seeing. We gotta have a good eye, see what's going on. What y'all trying to? Well, wrong. This one comes about here. Which one y'all trying to say? You know, to know what it is with our finances, and we have to have a good eye. We also have to have a good ear. Tonight, we're learning some things to help us to have our finances together. I don't want nobody to be telling me they stuff is jacked up because I'm be like, did y'all listen on 517 on that other day when we had getting your house in order with Inacia? You know, come on, friends. So. Is that something that you guys help with too, with your credit, removing things?
Yes. So we help with all of that. So not only do we help you build your credit, but we also help you restore your credit. So it's not just, sometimes people are just looking to repair things, but it's also about building and restoring. So we go through that entire process with you. We also help you with budgeting. We help you with all kinds of different things related to your credit. And as a matter of fact, as we go into this year, we're actually looking to help our clients build business credit as well.
Very nice. I'm so sorry, chosen friend. She just said a cuss word. And I didn't do the beat. Let me see if she said it again.
What I said?
What word do you think was a cuss word? Start with a B.
Budgeting.
Because, you know, we think it's a bad word. You know, we don't want to always budget. We want to live our best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. And I get you want to live your best life. And I don't want to go back and forth with you. But budgeting helps us to, you know, get some things cleared up on our credit. Helps us to rearrange underneath that flower what's going on to have our finances together. This is all the part of pruning. Pruning is not nice. Trimming, you ever went to the, I'm going to tell you a good example of trimming. You ever went to the beautician to get your hair trimmed and you told them to take a little bit and they took a little bit more and it hurt you? You'd be like, I had hang time. You didn't really have that much hang time, but it was hang time to you and it was your hair and it was your business. And they cut too much. That's the truth sometimes. It's that sacrifice. Or they're cutting where they see the damage is and you're heartbroken because it's like, no, but it was good. No, it was damaged.
And then that promotes the healthy growth.
And healthy growth. The healthy growth, you got to get it trimmed. And again, that has happened too many times than I like to admit. Too many people I know than we like to admit. It's not comfortable. It's not good. But we have to get to that place of being healthy. If we just eating out all the time, that's a whole nother topic of healthy versus unhealthy, depending where you're going. If you're going to Honeygrown and getting that Cobb salad, that thing is nice. Y'all give me one. But it can add up. And sometimes you can just make that salad at home and it'll stretch a little longer. So we have to really use that good eye. Which one is it where you can say that? This one. Yeah, this guy, the hair is coming. I'm going to do it that way. That good eye to see what's going to help my finances to stretch a little bit. Parents knew how to stretch $1, how to make $1 out of 15 cents. And all of us not able to do those things. But it's these decisions that we make, or we get this credit card, or they say, here, you can put it on this. And we think it's cool. And it's that good credit versus that bad credit. And then we in the middle talking about what's going on. And Jarde's like, all I said was y'all could have came and talked to me. I would have helped y'all out with a free consultation and we could have seen how much further we could have went. Friends.
Exactly. And let me say one more thing about budgeting that comes to mind. One thing about budgeting.
What you say?
One thing about the curse word is that you have to plan for spending money. That is one of the biggest things that I find that people miss. They don't plan for spending money. So they get off their one week and the next week it's like, oh, I was off last week, so I'm gonna be off this week. Oh, I was off. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you plan for spending money, then you can get yourself attainable goals that you're actually going to achieve.
Yes. And I also want to tell our friends that it's not something that's perfect all the time. There was one year I was doing great with everything. And then an unexpected situation happened that pushed something else behind. And I was heartbroken for a moment. I was beating Jennifer up for a moment because like, Jennifer, you know me on top of these things. Sometimes unexpected situations happen. And even having stuff set aside for that unexpected situation doesn't mean that it's enough for it. Doesn't mean that you was ready for it. Doesn't mean that's what you had that set aside for. You know, it's a process. So really being kind to ourselves to know, yes, we did mess up this week. That does not mean that it's going to be every week. What's your dog name?
Zeus.
Zeus?
Zeus. Yeah.
Zeus trying to help us get some coins, I see.
Crystal, we got y'all.
We got a new budget over here. A new business. Budget was a bad word. I'm sorry. We got a new business happening. Again, so friends, we have to be kind to ourselves because things do happen. We were young. We made some decisions. We went into whatever store it is. I'm gonna use Macy's because I know some people that really love Macy's, and they get their coupon and they walk up in there with their card and like, put it on my card. Use it with, oh, I get an extra what? Yeah, give me that, give me that. But if it's not in our budget to be doing that, if we're not paying it off in good time, and these people, most of the people I know that really do have the Macy's and love Macy's and did these things, they paying it off on things, but I just use it as an example. Some of us are doing it and we're not paying it off. We aren't being mindful. We aren't using that good eye or that good ear when it's like, you shouldn't do that, Jen. Don't do that, Jen. I'm like, oh, but I want it. These shoes going to be so nice when I wear them. And again, you do treat yourself sometimes, but just use wisdom, because that one thing could jam you up. And then it's like, dang, what did I do?
Exactly. And I think also just being able to have a plan in place. I'm a visual person, so I like check marks. I like lists. Yes. I like to be able to check off another week that I met my goal. So I think just being able to take small baby steps. Don't worry about a yearly budget. So sometimes people jump head first in and you're setting yourself up for failure. I would say some people don't even need to worry about a 6-month budget. Let's go all the way back to the monthly budget. And some of us, maybe we need to just start with this week.
Yes.
Right? What's my budget for this week? Don't worry about figuring out the month. Just get one good check mark, right? One good check mark leads to another good check mark and another good check mark. But maybe it's just starting with, okay, next Monday, this is what my budget is going to be. I'm going to see how I'm going to plan and spend the money, and then I'm going to make that budget work for me instead of trying to jump in head first.
I love it. And I'm even going to break it down to the daily thing, because these are some things that we've been doing for years. And it's not going to change overnight. But the thing is, each day you are actively, intentionally trying to do better. So like I try to go for a walk, get outside. It's beautiful weather. It's a little too hot. Nobody got time to be sweating all day. But nevertheless, I try to go for my walk. And if I don't get, to go to my walk outside, I try to do a walk inside. Pull up one of my YouTube videos and things that sort. But there's some days I just don't feel like it. And some days I have to push myself. But sometimes on those days that I don't feel like it, I say tomorrow's a new day. Because so much can happen in one day where you really just feel like you can't do it. Or it's like, I needed to do that. Or whatever it is, But the hope is that the next day is like, you were sleeping yesterday. You want it today, girl. Like another example, packing lunch. Now, all of our chosen friends, we've been working from home, most of us. So we've been packing lunch every day because we've been eating what's in the house and things of that sort. But, when we were out in the office, like, oh, yeah, I ain't packing lunch today. I'm going over and give me this and give me that. The hope is that the next day you do really pack, so it's a daily thing of trying to do better. But you got to plan for it. Maybe that food prep on a Sunday to make sure your lunch for the week is done. You have to be intentional if you're really trying to get these weeds together. You have to be intentional if you really want to be pruned. Trimmed, cut some areas.
Absolutely. And making sure that you're getting yourself obtainable things. It's nothing like, I don't know. Everybody's different. Maybe it's my type A personality, but there's some gratification I get about being able to say, yes, I actually hit my goals today. Yes. And so, even that is something, it does something to the psyche to make you want to do it again. And yes, your goals have been really small today, and it might have been like something that anybody could have done, but a couple of those back to back to back makes you want to stretch and say, you know what? I'm gonna push my goal up just a little bit more. It's that attainable goal that really, really helps motivate you and really tricks your psyche into doing what you're supposed to do. I think about water, right? We're supposed to have all this water every day. Okay, well, maybe I have to start with 2 cups of water. Right. So maybe my goal today is to drink 2 cups of water. And if I could do that for 5 days, I feel good about myself. There's only 2 cups of water, but now I'm gonna go for 3 and 4. Y'all get where I'm going with this.
Yes. Baby steps. We talked about on Saturday, if y'all was there, bit by bit, a little bit at a time, and you will get to that goal. Last week, Crystal Collison talked about with exercising like your metabolism, just like that walking. If you stay consistent, moderation, it does work. You just got to be consistent. And again, yes, you may fall down, but Donnie said we get up. We fall down, but we get up. So get on back up, friends. Get back up.
Yes.
So with this credit, let's talk about credit card. How many credit cards can I have and it be good?
Well, child, I'm glad you asked, because let me tell you what we talk about in our communities. We teach. Okay, let me not say wait. I don't know about y'all, but growing up, I was taught that credit cards were bad. Okay. I was taught that credit cards were bad, and that if you don't spend no money you don't have, and that you should only be using money that you have, right? Well, little did I know that growing up as an adult, I was eventually going to need credit. And in order to have credit, I have to have proved that I was able to pay something back on time. So unfortunately, a lot of people in minority communities, we start 10 years behind in so many other areas, and let's just add credit on top of it, right? We don't find out until our late 20s, most of us early 30s, that, oh, snaps, I'm supposed to have a credit card and I'm supposed to pay it back on time so that I can then build credit and then do all these amazing things. And here we are 10, 15 years behind everyone else who's already been doing it. So with that being said, having a credit card, 100%, you absolutely need one. However, to your point, Jen, it has to be used properly. And if you need somebody to monitor it for you, if you need somebody to hold on to that credit card for you, then give the credit card to your cousin, your friend, whoever you need to give the credit card to. But you have to have credit cards to start building credit. It's very, very important.
So 2 things with that. You get a credit card. One, if it's your first time, be careful because you get excited. Wait a minute, I got this limit. I can get it. It's on me. Be careful. Be careful because these on me and they don't pay you back or they don't do these things for you. And you don't got the means to pay it back. Amen. But the other piece was she said, get a card to somebody else. Give it to somebody that you trust. Because if you give it to that cousin and that cousin's like, the bill is this and she only had $5 and she needed some more, she's like, well, here, just use it on this. I'll pay you back. And then they forget. And you're like, wait a minute, that wasn't me. It wasn't me. Y'all be careful who y'all give it to hold it because.
But you get where I'm going. I don't care if you stuck, put it in a drawer, put it under the mattress. But the overall point that I'm trying to make is that at the end of the day, you have to use it, but you want to make sure that you have a plan in place to protect yourself from yourself.
Yes. I saw where people froze it, like they put it in some water, put it in the freezer, and they had to break ice. Whatever works for you.
Whatever it takes.
But then I also know some people that know the number by heart. They be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, however many numbers it is. Expiration date 5/21. Code 1, 2, 3. You know, they have it. So you freeze it and you know that number by heart is not really helping. I mean, you still gonna use that baby. So like just use wisdom. And again, if you're unsure, reach out to somebody that can help you. So make sure that it's together.
But the words, the opposite. So it's like, 2 sides to the coin. Because then the other side of the scenario is the person that's so afraid of credit cards, they never touch them. And then here they are in their 30s or their 40s trying to actually move forward in life, purchase assets, and they can't. And they got to spend years building their credit. So it's like, like you said, use your good ear, hear the meat that we're talking about here. Take that and pass it on to a girlfriend or a cousin or a friend, somebody you trust, and say, hey, girl, listen, I need to build my credit. And they said that I need a credit card, but I know how I am with credit cards. How can you help me, right? Reach out to a friend. Let them help you through that process. Just don't get stuck in your late 30s and 40s and can't even do what you want to do in life because you haven't built credit yet.
You're right. And again, just using wisdom, friends. Getting that card when you need it, using it as you need it.
Can I tell you 2 testimonies about how powerful credit is?
Yeah.
2 quick testimonies about how powerful credit is. So credit, by the way, Zeus is gone, y'all. Finally. So now I can. But 2 quick testimonies. One is that I just purchased. Last year I purchased 3 properties. After walking away from my job. And one of them was a commercial property. And that commercial property, when we purchased that property, me and my business partner, we got all the way to the closing table. And for anybody that knows anything about real estate and purchasing a property, you go through a lot of crazy stuff before you finally get to that closing table. We got to that closing table and we say, you know what? They never checked our bank account. And she looked at me, I looked at her, I said, they never really asked us what was in our bank account. And so I remember circling back with the young lady who actually did the loan for us. And she said, oh, you guys had an amazing credit score. Your credit profile was awesome. We never checked. No, we never checked. And I go, what? We purchased a commercial building and you never checked to see that I actually had the money. Now, yes, I had the money, but I guess my profile showed that I clearly pay large amounts of money back on time, right? So that's one testimony. Another testimony is I wanted to reward myself for having an amazing tax season. So I walked into the Range Rover dealership the other day, probably 2 weeks ago, and I said, I want to purchase a Range Rover. What do I need to do? He goes, okay, just put your name, social, your name of your business, because I want to do it through my company. And he said, just put everything down and we'll go from there. And so we're done, everything. I signed my papers. He's handing me keys. And I said, you know something? I told him that I had a business, but he never asked me, like, if I work for anybody. He never asked me for a W-2. He never asked me for my last year's tax return. This man don't know if I got $5 in my bank account. And I said, you know what? It was the credit profile. It was the credit score. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you hear me loud and hear me clear, if you don't see now that credit is the most important thing that you can walk around with. It's literally your report card. If you don't have somebody working with you now, please schedule a free credit consultation with us. We would love to help you out.
Now, friends, a Range Rover is not a cheap car.
Come on now.
Commercial business building is not a cheap thing. We got to have our funds together. And it's some of us that want to have businesses or have different buildings and things. Some of us that really want to have a house. Your credit profile really does, matter. So make sure we're keeping that together. Now, how often should we be reviewing our credit report?
So your credit report, well, first, I think you should be working with a credit professional that you're checking in with at least once a month. But I would say every 60 to 90 days. Because things are constantly coming on and falling off, right? But I would definitely say check in with someone that knows what they're talking about, because a lot of times we're going off of stuff that we Googled, and we're looking at things that might not even matter. One of the first things I go over with my clients on their credit consultation is I show them their credit report, and they want to tell me all the stuff that they think is wrong and that's hurting their credit. And I'll show them and say, look, this isn't even impacting your score at all. This is the thing that's impacting your score. And they go, wow. I didn't even know that. I thought it was my student loans, right? That's what everybody says. It's my student loans. And you look, and I'll show you, actually, your student loans are helping you. This is the thing that's hurting you. It's all about the credit profile. So get with someone that knows what they're talking about.
She talked about that perspective thing, because sometimes I feel like my student loans are hurting me. My personal situation, but you got to pay them back. But sometimes you're like, Dad, man.
Yes.
But you went to school, you got these loans to be able to live a well life and things like that. So those degrees help you to establish some things. However, if degree is not your route, there are some other ways that help you to live a successful life as well. So it's whatever you chose to do. Like some of us didn't choose to go to school, so we pay back the loans and things. Some of us didn't have to go, and they're doing well. So again, it's what role works for you. But school loans, as we just found out, help your credit, especially when you're paying that bill on time. You also don't want to play with them, because they'll take that money out your check. Right now, the COVID pandemic and things of that sort has graced some people. But prior to that, I know some people that was getting their checks garnished, because that's mixed with the IRS and things that store those funds. So when you're not paying, it's doing you damage. It's not healthy. But when you are, it's healthy for your flower. It's healthy for your plant. And again, that's a good weed, maybe. You don't like it, but eventually once you're done paying it, that's when it goes away. That's when that one is trimmed off. Oh, that was good, Jennifer, because we smart trimming stuff, but sometimes we're trimming stuff that's really is helping our plant. And that student loan is still helping us. It's not pleasing, but even that weed can be a flower too.
There you go. Bring it full circle, girl.
So let's talk about because sometimes you share how if you have money, you buy it. If you don't have the money, you don't buy it. But they have options now with this Afterpay or QVC, where you can order it and then make a couple payments. You think you'd be living a good life. What are thoughts on those options?
I mean, I think it comes straight down to you know how you are. Nobody knows you better than you, right? So I don't really have to tell you to our listeners, I don't really have to tell you, friends, if that's a good decision for you or not, right? You know if you have a poor history of being able to pay things back on time, or if you pay things a month before it's due, right? Everybody has different personalities and different, control, different self-control things. So I don't think it's good or bad. I think it 100% depends on the person and their self-control. So I think that's very, very important to evaluate yourself and be real with yourself.
All right. That's it at the end of the day, too. Be real with yourself. And sometimes we like these weeds. Sometimes we like them. So be real with yourself, But I like that habit. I like, doing that thing or whatever that is. So again, be honest with yourself. Let's talk about how these habits can affect our retirement. Eventually, we will retire. Eventually, the hope is to eventually retire. There's some people that are still kicking strong after retirement, saying I don't want to not work. I want to keep on moving forward. But how do these things with knowing our financial profile, knowing our credit, affect us when we retire? We also talked about taxes and things of that sort. And I'm taking out taxes. What does that look like for retirement for someone?
Yeah, I think it ultimately comes back down to planning. At the end of the day, some of us are probably going to be on a fixed budget when we retire. Some of us may be in positions where we've created, passive income. So it might not necessarily be a fixed budget. But I think it's very important to think about the planning piece of it. When it comes to credit, taxes, debt, all those things, at the end of the day, if you go from what you're doing now to a fixed budget, and you still have those payments due on this credit card, that credit card, this credit card, think about what that feels like in retirement, right? You don't, a lot of us, let me not say a lot of us, I can say that I've seen people go into retirement and then have to come back out because of their expenses. And if you don't want that for yourself, A, you need to already be planning now, and B, we definitely need to be thinking about what debt that we're going into, because the debt doesn't go away. But there's good debt and bad debt, so it all depends.
Good debt, bad debt. You gotta do a consultation so you can find out what's good and what's bad. So I love Jeffrey the giraffe. Jeffrey was my friend. I understood him when he said, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. I don't want to grow up because, baby, if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid. And being an adult is, I don't want to say it's hard, but it's not kid-like. We got responsibilities. So, like, these things that you're saying of us, this route that we're talking about of pruning, of us being honest with ourselves, of us really paying attention to what we're doing with our funds as it relates to credit, as it relates to taxes, as it relates to saving, which I'm going to ask after this. But it could be overwhelming. What is that piece of inspiration for somebody that's like, I don't want to do this anymore?
This is my inspiration. I mean, as cliche as it sounds, it has been the key to my success. Who we surround ourselves, what we allow in our sphere, what we feed our ear gates, our eye gates, right? What we allow inside is what ultimately is produced. So if I'm you, if I'm already struggling with that, if I already don't want to talk about finances, I don't want to talk about credit, I know I'm not good at any of those things, then I'm the person that's going to surround myself, at least one or two of your girlfriends or one or two of your friends that actually has their stuff together, right? Because at least you got somebody that's going to hold you accountable, or that's going to tug on your shirt tail and say, girl, did you just book another trip? You just told me that you was trying to purchase a house in 2 months and you out here booking trips, right? So I would say my word of encouragement there is, if that's you and you're struggling in that financial area, try to find a friend or two, or just keep yourself on podcasts like this where you're feeding yourself. You may not necessarily be at the point where you're taking action yet, and that's okay, right? Don't beat yourself up. Give yourself a pat on the back for at least even being on this podcast and listening and hearing the stuff that may be a little uncomfortable. And just continue to surround yourself with positive information that's geared towards where you want to be. Even if you're not headed in that direction yet, it's okay.
This is good. Feed yourself, learn your options and things. I also like to think of, like, if I'm saying that I have a goal in mind, it's not a bad thing to plan a trip, but it's just like, did you save separate from your goal to do that trip, or did you take from your goal to do that trip? Because like, then we're stealing from the cookie jar. That cookie jar is supposed to be our savings for this big goal, which is, you said you want to purchase a home and things of that sort. The trip is nice. We need a break. We need to get away sometimes, but we don't want to be taking that from that goal of what it is we're trying to do. Because then we're like, I want to do this. And then the people that surround you don't want to hear that story all the time. They love you. They care for you. But you're not even doing the stuff to really show that you really want to do it. And pruning takes some sacrifice. Pruning takes all right, no, I can't do that. No, I can't go out. No, that's not a part of my budget. I got a friend, she like, yeah, no, I can do that. It's not a part of my budget. I ain't mad at her. I say the same thing. Or somebody was like, yeah, I'm not feeling well. My funds are low. Whatever works for you, but you being honest to know what you can and what you can't do. Because if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, they buy a computer to pay Paul too, sis, bro. Like, do what works for you.
Yeah. And to my entrepreneurs out here, real quick little sidebar, to my entrepreneurs out here, I developed something that I think I probably heard it before on a podcast or something, but it resonated with me 3 years ago, which was, I'm not going to add on another liability until I have a stream of income to cover it. And so that for me was powerful.
I'm not going to what?
I'm not going to add on another liability until I have a stream of income to cover it. So I don't care if that's cable TV. I don't care if it's a brand new Mercedes-Benz. I don't care if it's a trip to Dubai or a trip to Atlantic City. I'm not adding on another expense until I know that I have something to cover it. And so for me, that was motivation. right?
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily I can't do something because I don't have the funds. It was more, okay, I want to do that. How can I get the funds? Right? That was my perspective. And that's what helped me to launch and be able to grow so quickly because I wanted a lot. And I wasn't allowing myself to have. My husband knows, I tell him all the time. He'll say, oh, let's do this, let's do that. We want to add this to the house, add that. Okay, no problem. Let's make that money first. We make the money, go for it. Treat yourself. Do what you do. You go on a trip to China for a month. I don't care. But make sure that you added that money first. What did you do? What did you do extra? Did you do overtime at your job? Did you come up with something creative for another stream of income? Did you save in budget? Did you do something different to reward yourself with that additional thing?
Did you do something to reward yourself? And I know y'all chosen friends that are watching, tuning in, listening, not listening. You feel like you went to work 9 to 5 every day, Monday, Friday.
You get a reward.
You did your 40, 80 hours and you got that check. You did. But for the goals that you're trying to do for your life, you gotta wait it. They have where I've seen where they have the little envelope where you put it aside for a trip. You're putting aside for this, you're putting aside for that. That's a smart way to do it because though you may have the money right now, yeah, it's great, go on a trip. But you use the money to go on a trip. You come back, something goes down, your car, your house, your whatever. You got to get that fixed. And now it's wait a minute. But if you put the money to the side and also still have the stream still going, you're able to prepare for that. Now, again, things do happen outside of, the well-intended plans and things of the sort. But again, friends, we just want to be mindful. Yeah. So let's talk about that. With the saving, you say, that was really good. I'm not, unless I have another stream to really take care of it. I'm gonna use it when you keep that as a mantra and things of that sort. And I do.
You're an entrepreneur yourself, so there you go.
Yeah, even with this, Amazingly Chosen Counsel, this has been even Jen Cares has been really free. I'm the queen of free. Jennifer doesn't even have cable. We don't need that. I have somebody else's code. God bless them. Thank you. I'm helping you get your money's worth. But somebody else's Hulu. I do have Netflix. But I have a lot of different sites that I find where I can watch things at a free 99 lifestyle. I mean, I can help y'all out. Y'all send me a message. I send y'all some of my resources. If you know some free resources, send them to me too. But you find what's in your means. I've been years without cable. Now there was one year, or some years ago, whatever. I was like, I'm gonna get cable because I want to treat me. I want to be able to watch TV whenever. But how my life was set up, I wasn't home enough, so it was still on DVR. It still was me watching it at another time. So Hulu made sense because it was still recorded shows and I could watch it at another time. Netflix makes sense because they have my Bollywood, they have my Korean drama, they have my Nollywood movies. YouTube, another one, free things. So, you find your means within that. And if it's something special you want to watch, hey, I can come to your house and watch Stars and watch Power. But I also know another resource where I can watch it free. You got to know you use your resources. Now, we talk about Google, but Google can help you to find some free resources if you really want to have. But again, I'm staying in my budget. That works for me. Somebody else might be like, well, I need sports. I need this. I don't need that. So it doesn't work for me. If I needed that, then I'd add it in. But for my house, I don't need that. So again, doing what works for you, not because you're trying to keep up with somebody else. And again, there's so many restaurants and bars. You can go watch the game there, right?
Yeah.
But again, knowing what works for you. And again, not robbing Peter to pay Paul. Because then you need Joe and Sue to help you stay in good graces with Peter and Paul. Yeah. Because robbing Peter to pay Paul and then Paul won't go to Peter. It's a whole drama.
But I think some of us have come up in generations of that. Mm-hmm. I mean, we watch Mama do it, Grandmama do it, Auntie do it, right? Mm-hmm. So some of us, that is not only our lifestyle, but we don't see anything different than that. We don't see us. We definitely see different than that because we got Instagram, right?
Yes.
But we don't see us doing something different than that. That's what they've always seen. So it goes full circle back to what I was saying as far as just making sure you're surrounded with somebody that's doing what you want to do. That's always been my thing. Like if I wanted to get into real estate, which I did, if I wanted to get into taxes, which I did, event planning, all these different things that I did, event spaces, all this stuff, right? I went and found someone that was already doing it well. And just, can I go to lunch? Can I do coffee? Can I do a quick DM? I don't know what it is, but let me get under that information or just hearing them talk, hearing how they live their daily life so that can start to pour on me.
Yes, and that's important too. I heard one time the piece of surrounding yourself, somebody else that you can aspire to, somebody that's like on your same level, so you can push each other, and then
Yeah,
somebody that's beneath you a little bit.
you can
So
motivate a
beneath you,
little
beneath you
bit.
is a couple things, because like I don't want to be there anymore, and because I don't want to be there anymore, I really don't want you to be there either. So I want to pull you up. That's the
Yeah,
hope. Now, if they don't want to be pulled up, you let baby stay there, and they motivate you like, no, that's not gonna be me. I gotta hustle. That's why I gotta keep going. And that person that's on your same level, and y'all looking at the other person and saying like, we're getting there, we're getting there. And the
yeah.
hope is that we're not that crab barrel, that we really
Mm,
are helping each other. But you got to be open to that help, because if I'm telling you something that's helping you, or you telling me something that's helping me, and I'm not listening, you're not listening,
exactly.
we're being a dead horse.
Exactly. Exactly.
So again, we're just trying to help each other. We're trying to help each other. So, in saving, let's talk about the importance of saving. And that's not really just so much our credit score. That's not so much our, tax. Maybe in case we owe, having some money on the side. But again, credit score, it could be because we're spending our money instead of using a credit card. Sometimes it's easier to go ahead and use our money. But let's also just talk about the importance of saving and trying to have some money really set aside for a rainy day. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so it goes back to having savings goals. So, what do your goals look like? But they have to be practical. I've watched it over and over and over and over again. You know that at the end of the week you have an extra $200, right? So you
Yes.
say, okay, I'm going to save 100. I'm going to spend 100. Well, is that real? Is that realistic? Are your groceries and gas more than $100? If they are, then that wasn't the right goal,
Pause for the
right?
call. You see these gas prices right
No. Yeah.
now? All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
So
315,
just being
319.
realistic with yourself. Maybe you
Yeah.
are saving $20 a week. And is that going to get you far quickly? No, it's not. But it will get you started. I was
Mm-hmm.
posting the other day on Instagram about just starting, how important it is to start. Stop trying to wait till everything is together to start. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes going back to budgeting, people are just waiting for just the right, okay, when I get my raise, okay, I got to put this money here. If I pay this, do this, and then I'm going to start my budget. Or you can save $20 today and you can save $20 tomorrow. Yeah, you can save $20 on Friday. And guess what? We got $60. Right? While
$60.
you still trying to figure stuff out in your head and get just the right moment to start, you didn't already start saving. So
Mm.
just start and then let everything else catch up to you. I promise it's going to catch up to you.
I promise. And that's so big because sometimes we're waiting on something else like, oh, I'm just waiting for me to hit the lottery. Y'all heard that baby that hit the lottery and she washed the ticket, it was in her pants?
Yes, I
She
did.
hit the lottery and now she's still
And they
sitting
had
back,
the
but
nerve
she
to
ain't
try
got
to
that money no
claim it.
more. I bet you she won't ever do that again. I would never do that again either. We're like, we heartbroken. I'm so sorry. You were trying to help me win and I lost it. But that's the thing. Sometimes we get so excited or we're in so many different things and then it comes along and we still wasn't even ready for it or we weren't prepared for it or we didn't take care
Of what we
of
already
it.
did.
Mm. We got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of, again, we are the plant. We are pruning. We are cutting off some things that need to be cut off. Friends, if you have any questions, be sure to ask them because we have an expert here. I mean, you can schedule your consultation and things of that sort. But these are good things to know as it relates to our credit, as it relates to saving, as it relates to taxes. What is something else that you work with that we haven't talked about?
Sure. So one of my favorite things to do, this is what I do in the off season, is I do business coaching. So what I do is 1 hour sessions with people who are either thinking about starting a business or who are already in their business. And what we do for people that are thinking about starting a business is we get on 1 hour Zoom sessions, or we can do in person now. COVID's slowly going away. But we strategize about your business. I treat your business as if it was my own. And I tell you step by step, okay, these are the first 3 steps I need you to take to start your business. And so what I do is I normally give you homework. I follow back up with you in 30 days, and then we schedule another session. I also have people who are already knee deep in their business and they're just trying to take their business to the next level. What I find is a lot of creatives and a lot of like entrepreneurs who just jumped into it are knee deep in the business and the business is running them. They have no idea if they're even profitable. They know they made money and they know they spent money, but they have no idea if they're even a profitable business. They don't even have last year's numbers to compare this year to even know if they're progressing, right? So I come in and I step in and say, how can I help you take your business to the next level? How can I help you organize the back end so that you can look at your business from an aerial view and then be able to make conscious decisions going forward to level your business up? So business coaching is my favorite thing to do in the off season, to really just get into the dirt with the business owners and really kind of put together some systems to help them through the process.
Very nice. So business coaching, you mean I can't just have an idea and run with it?
Oh, you sure can. You gonna keep running, girl. You gonna keep running.
You trying to say it's not gonna be successful? I mean, I'm gonna try and things of that sort.
It's gonna be all right. We're gonna like it on Instagram. I'm gonna comment. I might even share it. But I don't know about I don't know how the bank account gonna be looking.
So I love tough conversations. Let's stay right here for a second.
Come on.
Because everybody is not gifted to run a business, to have a business and things of that sort. And there's no shade. Nope. Y'all know, y'all seen some people that's out here doing some businesses that maybe they should get some coaching to really know what their lane is. I am true to stay in my lane and know what it is I do. I don't know. I bring a guest. As you can see, we got our sis here that's helping us because this is her speed. You want to talk about talking about feelings, therapy, social work, I'm your girl. However, there's some things that you still need to know that I can't do. So what I look like going out here and saying, you want to start, and I can talk about if you want to start a business process because I've done that with my nonprofit and things of that sort. But when it comes to taxes, when it comes to credit, that's not my strong suit. So you get somebody that knows. And sometimes some of us are going into business and doing some stuff that I got a request the other day. Somebody wanted me to support something. I'm all for supporting stuff, but I wasn't a fan of what the product was. So this is the battle that I'm having with myself. Friends, help me out. If I'm not a fan of what it is, so if I'm supporting it, I'm encourage you to keep on doing it. Or am I keeping my money and putting it into something else that's a little bit better? You know, it's really not in my budget to even support right now. I keep it in my prayers. You know, whatever works for you. But so many people are doing this. These people think they rappers, they think they singers, they think they this. And it's great. I'm not trying to knock somebody, but you just got to know what your lane is. You got to know what it is that you're gifted to do. Because there's so many people that want to start a business, but they don't know those 3 steps. They don't know who they want their audience to be. They don't know if it will be profitable or not profitable. They're going to offer a service and you order something and it's like half of what you thought it was going to be. That's not quality. Or the packaging that it comes in. It really takes work to put on, to have a good product. I'm battling with myself about t-shirts right now because we got some great ideas and things of that sort, some slogans and things. I've done ran it through different people to see if they would be interested in buying it and things of that sort. But it still takes work because once you solidify what that final version is, what kind of bag am I putting it in? What else is going in that bag? Again, customer service. If I get a t-shirt and it got some nice little goodies in there, I say, oh, they thought about this. They really thought this through. That's a part of business, customer service, excellence, and knowing that, Chick-fil-A is the only place, I don't want to say only place, is one of the main places that I could go to order food. And when I pull away, I'm content and confident that what I ordered is in my bag. It's not many places you could go and do that. Yep. So you want to be able to make sure that what you asked for is what you got, and that you walk away and you please. Now, with them having a shortage of sauces, that's a different conversation. But I know that what I asked for is in that bag, and that's what you want to do when you're doing a business. You want to do it with excellence. That you said you was going to get them the stellar, service, and you gave it to them. Yep. And that's the importance of getting business coaching.
Yes. You just sold me, child. But yes. And I just think about how important it is to me because I'm very, very big on supporting Black businesses. I talk about it on my page all the time. I normally try to highlight 1 or 2 businesses a week. But it is so important to me that we are providing value. I dare not ask you for $1 if you feel like I did not provide value to you. And I think sometimes people get so caught up on telling somebody to support their business. I have no problem supporting your business financially, sharing, whatever you need me to do. But there needs to be value. It has to be value. There has to be something that makes sense. You have to provide a product or service that makes sense. And if you didn't, then go back to the drawing board and figure out what you can do to then turn back around and ask for that $1. Because let me tell you something. It's not about the price. Our people, our Black and brown people, okay, we're going to spend our coins. The question is, how do I get them to spend it with me?
Yes.
Right? Because we're going to spend them coins. We spend the coins. So stop thinking about price. It's not about price. It's about value. And to your point, the experience, right? If I provide value and experience, the price, you're not even asking me about the price. You don't care about the price because you know that what I'm providing you is priceless.
That's it.
And that's where you want to be to my Black business owners, we have to make sure that we are providing value. That's huge. And then, yes, I'll support you.
I had some young ladies that was telling me they wanted to get into hair. I don't knock you doing that, boo. Let's just talk about your temperament, though. Because when you just got upset with me, you was about to cut my head off. And I do these things when I'm working with some young people to really see where they are. Because, like, if I didn't like how you did my hair, how you going to respond? If you really jack me up and I want to pay you, how you going to respond? If you did a phenomenal job and I gave you just what you asked for and not a tip, how are you going to respond? So knowing these different situations, because customer service is also taking that constructive criticism when it comes back and it's not as good as you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like in our community too, we say, you give everybody else thousands of chances, but you don't do that for us. I do that for us. And again, it calls you to go back when you're having quality service. If you're doing stellar work, I'm coming back to you a gazillion times. I'm going to help you, support you so much. You're going to want to put my name on that billboard, But that's what it's about. But you offering that quality service, you having your attitude together, your demeanor together. That, again, I always share, people never forget how you made them feel. When you walk in and how you are approachable and relatable and things of that sort, and you're really caring about the person. I'm going to do this plug. Rockin' Flavors, I call them Rocky Saki. They are at 5100 Rays Avenue, and they do these salmon cheesesteaks. He's on a little truck in the commissary. And I went, and I was like, this is really good. I went again. They couldn't really hear me because of the motor or whatever like that. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Just go. He stopped. He was like, no, wait, is that what you want? Because we going to give you whatever you want. And every time I go, it's quality service. They look out for me because it's my coin. So they want to make sure that I'm getting my coin worth. That's somebody you want to support because they're like, no, is that what you want? We want to make sure it's right. I know it's loud. We apologize for that. Those are good things. But again, you can't go in there acting a fool too.
Exactly.
And then blame it on them.
Exactly.
I got to give us 2 chosen friends because I'm the queen of a comment card. But I know I can't go in there and act the fool and then say I want a comment card when it was my fault that took them off for them to respond how they responded to me. So again, the part you play, know the part they play. And again, if you want to start a business, get some coaching so that you're doing the right stuff. Because it's not easy. Everybody's not going to like what you're doing. But when you tap into an untapped market, it soars. And even if you do tap into a tap market, I always use the analogy of the bread. They got a gazillion different brands of bread when you go in the bread aisle. You get the one you like, somebody else gets the kind they like, and it's not always the same. But it works out. I'm not a fan of honey wheat. I don't like the taste, but I like a wheat. I'm going to get the wheat. But somebody else loves honey wheat, and it's continuing to blossom because somebody likes it. So you find what works for you. You perfect it. You get the support you need. I didn't even talk about, and maybe I had somebody come and talk about branding. Maybe we'll do a business month or something like that. Because even brand, you want to make sure that the pieces that you're putting out causes somebody to say, oh, what are they doing? How can I be a part? And that's part of the business coaching I'm sure you give.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I know even our vision for In the Moment Financial Services, when we created the office experience, it was very important to us to make sure that we did something different than what was already out there. Typically, when you walk into an H&R Block or when you walk into like a Jackson Hewitt or a Liberty Tax, it's very like, well, first of all, they come in our communities, make millions of dollars for 3 months and then leave our communities, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. But anyway, when you walk in, the experience is very rigid. It's definitely not a welcoming experience, and it's definitely not something that people look forward to going to. So we created like a living room experience when you walk into our building. There's a couch, there's a TV, there's a snack bar, sodas, coffee, tea, food for the kids, candy. Then we thought about parking, right? So right where we are, you have to pay the meters for parking. So we have quarters right up front. We go pay for the parking for you. We make the overall experience make you feel welcome. Because I just feel like we don't have that in our community. When you walk into the business, it's like, how can I help you? You know what I mean? You don't feel like your dollar is being valued. So we pride ourselves on making sure that we make people feel very comfortable and that we're grateful that they're even walking in the door.
Again, if you want to start a business, these are important pieces.
Yes, ma'am.
Because word of mouth of referrals, you know how many people I got going to Rockin' Flavors? I go to Rocky Saki because they Rocky. That's a good meal. Friends, y'all go there and tell them I sent you. Maybe I can get it. I don't know. But what's it? But they do good there. So when you have a good experience, you do spread that news.
Share it.
And it spreads like wildfire. Popeyes, when they did that chicken sandwich, it spread like wildfire because somebody said that was a good sandwich. They running out of chicken. Lines is beyond. Again, Word of mouth is good, so make sure you're doing a quality service. And it doesn't even mean that actually Popeyes was doing great quality service all the time, but because the product that they had was something that people wanted, they took that person getting smart, like just give my chicken sandwich so I can go, whatever. But again, as a business owner, my hope is that you're offering a service that is of quality and that you would want that as well. What's another service y'all offer?
So we do LLC formation, where we actually create your LLC for you. We do the credit restoration. We do business and personal tax preparation. But last but not least, we do bookkeeping. So let me talk about that for a quick second, only because this year, so many people apply for the PPP, the EID.
Apply for the what?
The PPP.
Those good businesses stand without businesses, but go ahead.
Exactly. So many people apply for it legally and illegally. I would say probably more illegally than legally.
But
we had a piece of the pie, but a lot of us couldn't get access to the piece of the pie because our books weren't in order. So that's really what motivated me. We just started doing bookkeeping this year because I did so many business taxes last year for my small Black businesses in Philly. They didn't have their stuff in order. And I'm like, how y'all going to get the grants and the loans? And the minute they say, can we see your books, you want to show them your Cash App. That's not an option. There's nothing wrong with Cash App, but Cash App's not going to help you when you're trying to ask for a $25,000 loan from a bank. It's not. So as a bookkeeper, my job is to help you get your stuff straight. So you can stay in your creative lane. You go do you make your clothes, girl. You sing, you do your hair, you do whatever you do. I'll be behind the scenes making sure your books are right. So when it's time to talk about money, all you got to do is press a button. So that's another thing that we do. We offer bookkeeping.
So wait, I can't. You already told me I could start a business, just run with it, but I got to keep my books together too. There's a lot of different things. There's a
lot of different things. Yes, a lot of us out here still using our personal bank accounts to run our business. That ain't gonna work. I'm gonna tell you why. Everything is fine until it's not fine, right? So
until it's not fine.
Until it's not fine. We out here doing
that
business.
Money gets to mixing and mingling, and they're like, "Oh, I got it in the bank. I can do it." And then your money is the business money. Keep that separate.
Keep it separate. Yep.
I definitely have separate because I don't want the problems. Like business money is business money. It was some people making donations and sending it to me. I took it out, took it right to the bank. It's not even my same bank for my business. But making sure that it just stays separate, because it can mess you up. And again, you want to have your paperwork in line. So good. So friends, if y'all starting a business, can y'all get some business coaching and things of that sort? I hadn't even talked about some of the pictures people be posting it. Let's just do stuff in excellence, okay? Excellence. Let's stay out of trouble by getting our finances together. We'll do another one to talk about just presentation and outlook and things of that sort. I promise I'll work on bringing that one around again because that's important too. Because it helps us with the balance of how we present ourselves. And we'll actually talk about that a little bit next week when we talk about repotting or branding ourselves to be good. So today we're cutting and trimming and identifying the pieces that need to be removed or built up or restored and things. And next week we'll talk about, when it's time to repot and move into something new. But Jarde, this has been amazing. What is something that you want us to for sure walk away with other than how I could get a show with me and my cat and make that a hustle?
Friends, I cannot stress to you enough how important mentorship is and how important your circle is. I have a million analogies that I'm sure many of you guys have heard, but they say your network is your net worth. How important it is to have people around you that are already doing what you want to do. That is huge. That has been the key to my success. Every single lane of business that I went into in the past year, I found someone that was already killing the game in that area. And I said, okay, cool. Keep feeding my brain and keep feeding my energy with those things. So that's the huge piece of advice I have. A little analogy that I use for myself personally is I look at every relationship mathematically. I say you're either adding to me, right? So when I look at a person, I say, okay, is this person adding to what I already have? Are they helping me level up? Are they subtracting from me? Is this somebody that's pulling from me? Because you're going to have all these relationships in life, right? But you just got to make sure they balance out. So is this somebody that pulls from me, pulls from my energy? Is this someone that multiplies? So is this somebody that takes what I'm already doing and shows me how to do it on another level? right? Is this somebody that takes, it can be my personality, it can be my spirituality, it can be my physical health, right? Do they take what I already have and help me multiply that? Or do they divide me? Do they divide me away from the calling that God already has on my life? Do they divide me from the people, the things that are in my life that I should be in tune with, right? So I look at every relationship as math, and I say, okay, which one is she? She's subtraction, addition. I gotta make sure I have a whole bunch of multiplication in my life, maybe one subtraction, couple additions, no division. No division, right? So look at your circle. How is your circle mathematically helping you? And how can you add more people that you want? How can you add some more multipliers in? It's going to help multiply what you're already doing.
That's good. That's good. And the hope is that you're adding to their lives as well.
There you go.
Because you can't just want people to give to you, pour into you, help you. It's a mutual exchange. It's a two-way street. And there are some times where it may feel like it is one way because seasons change and sometimes they need a little bit more. But just make sure that you're still returning that love too, because that person is appreciative of you being around. I want to see you succeed, and the hope is that you want to see them succeed as well.
Exactly.
I like that part of also find somebody that's killing the game.
Yeah.
Even in doing like Jen Cares, I'm always like looking at different ways of how to promote things, how to share things, how to stay relevant in things. Since we first started, just imaging and things has changed because I pay attention to others that are doing things, get ideas from that, and really just try to like have some moments of like how can like we present this to be the best that it can be. So that's so important of educating yourself, taking times like this to find out how to prune some areas to make sure finances is going right, making sure business is separated from your personal and things of that sort, knowing that you're doing the right things for your credit, that you're saving some money, that you are mindful of your taxes, and how you can get some more the perks of having a tax specialist. What do you call it? Tax
professional.
You want to call them by their names, tax professional, because they know what they're doing. Me, I am a tax I don't want to say tax reject, but I mean, I could figure out the little terrible tax things. But again, it's easy when you can have somebody else that has gone to the classes for it, that's staying up and fresh in the field.
There you go.
As laws are changing.
Every day.
That's like even with things at your job in HR. We had somebody come on HR. Different things change. Like this was working this year, but now it's changed to be this is what's better for the year that we're in, or whatever law that may have changed. They have to stay up on those. And that's the importance of also seeking a professional. When you go to a doctor, yes, they went to school for things, but as different things come around, they have to learn. This past year, they had to learn about coronavirus. They had to educate themselves, but now they're educated where they can help you with it. But me going to JoJo and Sue down the street, they know about it, but they're not a doctor. They're not the professional that's trained or, required to learn the information. So go to that professional as it relates to your taxes. Go to that professional as it relates to your credit. Go to that professional as it relates to getting your budget and savings together. Go to that professional as it relates to business coaching. Because, again, you can have that idea, but you want to formulate it and get it legit. Get that LLC.
There you go.
Get your paperwork in order, because some people will get us if we ordering or asking for these loans and we don't have ourselves together. And I can't help you with no money on the books because I need those funds for what I'm trying to do. I have to pray, dear Jesus. Let's make some good decisions, friends. We don't want to have to, be in situations we don't want to be in. So again, thank you so much. In the moment, 101.com. Y'all check them out. Get yourself a consultation. They say consultations was free too. And I like free 99. Y'all better sign up today. Again, if it works for you, if it doesn't, keep right on moving. But again, it's free. What does it hurt for free? And you know what else I've done that was free? Well, not free. But you know how they do like those little timeshares? You get so excited because you get to go for a nice free, not free, but a discounted rate. And all you have to do is go to one of their workshops. I mean, you sit there, you're not interested, or you are interested, whatever, but you get some information, but then you get to enjoy the benefits of what is shared.
Benefits, right.
By staying there for those extra days for that cheap price. A free consultation is like that. You go. You learn some different things and you get an experience that you didn't know about. You learn some things on how to help your taxes. You learn some things on how to help your credit. You learn some things on how to do a business, budget, and savings. Wherever you find yourself on what was shared tonight, go. If you had a time, schedule with them in the moment, 101, and they will help you. So please, friends, do support. Thank you so much for joining us. This was great.
Yes, this was awesome.
Really good. Yes. Again, we always trying to do these things. I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna do another piece of helping out with those with budgeting and business and things. I know some people that are doing some coaching and things of that sort. So again, trying to keep everybody connected because it's so much a wealth of knowledge to know of how to have things together. And tax season has ended, but how can we prepare for the next year? Okay, get yourself a tax professional
There you
to
go.
help you do what it is you need to do. So thank you again so very much, Jarde, for joining us. You have
It
a
was,
great evening.
it was a pleasure. Have a great evening.
You too.
All right.
Oh, that was awesome. So we had tonight Jarde Allen of InTheMoment101.com. Y'all be sure to check them out, okay? What is the info? One moment. Let me put it back up. You can go to www.inthemoment101.com. She's on Facebook as Jarde Allen. If you're my friend on Facebook, I did tag her in a post. If not, let me put that flyer back up because she's also on Instagram. You can find her at Jarde Allen on Instagram. Be sure to follow her. And I'll also make sure that I post it so you have her information. So y'all be sure to check it out. Grow friends, grow. Our quote of the day was, weeds are flowers too, once you get to know them. Again, weeds are flowers too, once you get to know them. All right, so it's going to be good today. I'm thirsty, friends. Brought my little blood mug. So thank you again so very much, friends. A Day of Empowerment was amazing. The reviews were amazing. Thank y'all. Y'all made my heart glad. I was like, this for the first one. Y'all showed out. My chosen friends showed up, and I was appreciative. And I hope that you were blessed. I hope that you enjoyed yourselves. Again, you can watch it over and over again with that link. And those that maybe weren't able to attend, I do have it coming up where I can share that link. Not yet, but it's coming. Also want to let you know that we have a day of hope. This is going to be for our babies, the youth of tomorrow. We want to let them know. She's tired, friends. We want to let them know that there is hope. Okay, a lot of things is happening. A lot of our babies are dropping. We want to show them that there is hope. We want to reach out to them and love on them and teach them and give them some skills to know of different resources of what they can do to keep themselves active right now, to let them know that whatever dream they want to pursue, they can make it happen. And guess what? That we are there to support them. What else do we have coming up? I do have for June, our theme is going to be letters to my younger self. It's going to be so good. I am working to confirm a couple more speakers. It's been a little busy with our Day of Empowerment, but we are coming along, and I will post that as soon as I have the information. Be sure to join us next week as we close out our row series with Jennifer Bailey for repotting. Now, if y'all know anything about a plant, sometimes I gotta go into another plant and it gets dirty. Why? Because we gotta get in dirt to pull it up and put in that new one. And then we're hoping that that new plant will be able to really care for that plant. We're gonna talk about it next week. I do thank you all for tuning in. I love you all for real. Until next time, love you.